Coach's Corner with Jeremy Wiggins, the head coach at Northeast, the Raiders. Best year in school history. What a year, all the way to the state championship game before losing to Toombs County 38-13. But Coach Wiggins, if we had an award for Coach of the Year, you might have taken that home in Middle Georgia. Just congratulations on a great year. What was the season like? Kind of describe it briefly to us of just how it was as you went along and kind of figuring out how, wow, this is kind of a special year right here.
hmm Well, it was an amazing year. Um, you know, I'm trying to figure out when me and the coaches kind of had a chance. Well, every coach goes into each year, with a goal of going to the championship, but you kind of know when you got a special group. And, for me, each group that comes in each year is special. And we kind of try to have the same goal and try to say the main expectation of getting winning a region and getting in the playoff. That's how I was taught in app. Just win the SoCon, get in the playoff, and see what happens. Because a lot of teams don't play their best ball until they get in the playoff. And so, this year was very special. Just each when we the first round, the second round, and the third round going on to Fannin County, being down two scores and then coming back and winning that game. And then, we got the news that we was going to be at home against Fitzgerald. Everything was kind of lining up like we might have a chance, to, play for a state title. And then, when the Fitzgerald game, the record crowd, everybody came out to support. Um, and we just played lights out that day, and by the third, fourth quarter, it was coming like, well, we got a chance to go play in the dome, and getting a chance to play, Toombs County, with them being their first time going to the state title, it was just really, a great feeling for our community, a great feeling for the school, and then ultimately for the boys, they'll have something to talk about, for the rest of life, this year right here, just playing in the championship in the dome. And so all those things was exciting. We were, going to the dome and just experience the whole ideal, the traveling part, the preparation part, the interviews, the everything that led up to it was just, good for our community. And it just shined a bright light on our school and the program on what we're doing, going forward.
Well, it was great. It was a great experience, and people need to realize this doesn't happen in Macon, Georgia, for a team to do what you did, which made it even
Right.
more special. Real quick, I mean, just the bounce from that. Can you have a bounce from that, even though you got to replace a lot of players? We'll talk about that in our next report. But
Mhm.
can that experience last year help this year's team?
I think it can carry over from last year to this year, especially with a lot of our rising juniors and sophomores that played in the game. They've been kind of level-headed. They really ain't talked about, the game last year. They kind of moved on and getting ready for this year and just, they know the expectation and they kind of just focus on, what we need to do to be a better team than last year to try to, get a chance to get back to to the playoffs and get a chance at winning a state title. So, I think the guys are, doing a great job. The coaches, we really ain't talked about, like, a lot of coaches be like, well, we would have did this or, we need to do this to get back. The expectation just been to work hard, and just kind of like restart. But in the back of the mind, a lot of the older guys like Reginald and Amari and, Morgan, the guys who've been playing for a while, they want a chance to get it,
Yeah.
a chance to get back. So, that's been kind of like the mindset going from last year to this year.
All right. In our next report, we'll talk about this year's team and see how the Raiders can do in 2025.
Mhm.
Last year, the Northeast Raiders went all the way to the state championship, losing in the finals to Toombs County by 20 points. But a remarkable year, and now they move forward. Jeremy Wiggins is here to talk about it. Coach, obviously, the big thing that you got to replace is Nick Woodford, who I don't know if anybody in our lifetime will do what he did in his career at Northeast. I
Right.
mean, even last year, 2,600 yards, rushing, 37 touchdowns. What are you going to do?
Well, we're gonna continue to get better. And we got the thing with us, we got a lot of young, skilled guys been working hard, and they've been waiting their time. And then a lot of times people forget. Nick got hurt. Well, didn't play his sophomore year. Well, no, he didn't play his junior year after he get, hurt his junior year. And then, Bam, has over like 5,000 yards all purpose and, got 75 total touchdowns. So Bam, offensively can be very, very explosive when a lot of young guys around him. He can make some things happen. Will be a little different this year. The ball will be spread out a whole lot more. We got upcoming senior, Taylor Sampson, who will carry some ball, run the ball for us a little bit. Bama do a lot of the running and throwing. We got
How big will it be I'm sorry, how big will it be to have Reginald Glover there with that kind of change in the offense to have that experience behind the center?
Well, it'll be good, and I can't give all the detail, but Bam, if you've seen us this summer, we'll be a little bit different than we were in the past 2 or 3 years. We'll be more similar when my son was there, the oldest was there, Trey was there. We'll be balanced, try to throw the ball more and try to run the ball just as effectively, as we did in the past. But it's just time for the young guy to step up. Courtney Williams, he's an explosive player on defense who's got some real good offensive skills. You got Tavares Tanley, who's an upcoming junior. You got Ja'Cory Sherman, who's an upcoming junior. So we got a lot of skill players, that's going to be real good for us. And then my youngest son, Jordan, he'll be a ninth grader. And he'll get some time at quarterback. He can throw it. He can sling it real good. So, that's just gonna make us real more versatile going into this year, as we get ready to compete for another, run at the region title.
Absolutely. In a tough region, well, that defense is very good last year. Three shutouts, kept seven opponents under 10 or fewer points. Eight starters back, so we'll see how the defense does as well. First game, August the 15th at Peach County. I think we're going to be there for that game, Coach. I would
Okay.
imagine that's a pretty good one. Hey, Coach, great job last year. Let's do it again this year. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you.